You're at a family dinner. The food is great, the vibe is pleasant, and someone is just passing the potatoes. Then, an uncle or a cousin drops a casual loaded comment about a recent news story or a politician. Instantly, the air leaves the room. You feel a familiar, icy dread drop straight into your stomach. Your muscles tense, your heart rate ticks up, and you can feel the prickle of sweat at the back of your neck. You have a choice. Speak up and ignite a multi-hour screaming match, or bite your tongue so hard it bleeds while sitting in suffocating, toxic silence. You don't feel civically engaged. You feel violently exhausted. You feel alienated from people you love, deeply anxious, and profoundly cynical. Why? It's just an exchange of opinions. But to your brain, that political comment is a lethal threat. Today, we're looking at why talking about politics in the modern world makes us want to retreat into an isolated cave. We're talking about identity fusion, the outgroup reflex, and why our brains are biologically wired to treat political debates like a survival situation. Let's look at the evolutionary anthropology. For hundreds of thousands of years, humans survived in small groups. In a primitive tribe, agreeing on core worldviews wasn't about intellectual debate, it was about life or death. If you disagreed with the tribe's core values, you risked the ultimate evolutionary death sentence: ostracism. Being exiled from the tribe meant starving in the wilderness alone. Because of this, we evolved a hypersensitive tribal alert system. When someone introduces a political topic that challenges your worldview, or worse, reveals that they belong to a rival political tribe, your brain doesn't process it as an abstract disagreement about policy. Your amygdala, the brain's primitive fear center, registers it as a direct threat to your tribal belonging and safety. The panic and anger you feel when politics comes up isn't you being dramatic. It's your ancient software screaming that a rift is forming in your survival circle. Now, let's look at a massive, revelatory, real-world reality that proves why these conversations feel so much uglier than they used to. Look at what has happened to our digital town square under algorithmic outgroup hyper-targeting. For years, we thought social media algorithms just showed us things we liked. But internal tech leaks and data science studies have revealed a much darker design. The algorithms are explicitly optimized for moral outrage. The system discovered that a user will stay on a platform 3 times longer if they are shown content that makes them angry about what the other political side is doing. This is the weaponization of the social fabric. It reveals a profound truth. You don't just hate talking about politics because people have different views. You hate it because the views we encounter have been chemically purified by an algorithm to cause maximum emotional damage. When you argue with a relative, you aren't arguing with them. You're arguing with the customized, algorithmically generated caricature of the world that has been pumped into their eyeballs for 6 hours a day. The machine profits from our division, turning our sacred social bonds into passive ad revenue for a tech giant. We've all seen it happen over the last decade. Politics stopped being about what you think and became entirely about who you are. It expanded its territory, it swallowed up sports, movies, fast food chains, clothing brands, and even whether or not you like electric cars. This is a psychological phenomenon called identity fusion. When your political beliefs fuse completely with your personal identity, a critique of a policy or a politician is no longer processed as a logical counterargument. Your brain interprets it as a literal physical assault on your character. If someone criticizes your candidate, your brain registers it the exact same way it would if someone walked up and slapped you across the face. This makes rational conversation completely impossible. You feel like you're walking through a minefield because every single topic is now booby-trapped with existential identity stakes. Think about how exhausting it is to speak publicly, online, or even at work now. Every statement has to be heavily manicured. You have to use the exact right vocabulary, signal the exact right allegiances, and navigate a dizzying web of social landmines just to share a basic thought. This introduces the authenticity deficit. Human beings possess an incredibly sharp bullshit detector. We are evolutionarily designed to seek out genuine, candid, vulnerable human connection. But modern political discourse demands absolute conformity to a script. When we engage in political talk, we rarely get to hear what a person actually thinks or feels in their quietest moments. Instead, we get treated to a rehearsed, defensive press release designed to protect their status in their respective tribe. It is a massive tax on our cognitive energy that yields zero genuine human connection. If you are currently feeling deeply isolated, cynical, and exhausted by the political noise, I want to give you some deeply grounded solace. The shouting on your screen is not the reality of the human race. The media and the tech platforms want you to believe that the world is entirely divided into two warring factions of hyper-ideological zealots who hate each other. They want you to internalize this chaos so you stay addicted to the feed, looking for updates on the conflict. But the reality is that the vast majority of human beings are suffering from political burnout. Most people just want to live their lives, care for their families, pay their bills, and be kind to their neighbors. When you step away from the digital campfire, you find that human empathy, warmth, and basic decency are still fully intact. Your desire to opt out of political arguments isn't apathy or cowardice. It is a healthy, self-preserving reflex. It is your soul choosing to protect its finite energy and prioritize real, tangible human relationships over simulated, profitable warfare. At the end of the day, hating political talk doesn't mean you don't care about the world. It usually means you care too much to watch it get reduced to a cheap, toxic reality TV show. Choosing to step back, protect your peace, and refuse to engage in algorithmically optimized arguments is a legitimate form of cultural resistance. It is a declaration that your mind cannot be bought, rented, or weaponized by an engagement algorithm. Your value as a citizen and a human being is not measured by how many arguments you win at the dinner table or how loudly you perform your outrage online. It's measured by the actual quiet kindness you extend to the real people in your immediate orbit. So the next time a political conversation starts to derail your peace, give yourself permission to step out of the room. You don't owe the algorithm your peace of mind. If you are currently watching this video because you are completely exhausted by the endless news cycle, hit that like button. Subscribe for more honest deconstructions of the systems hacking our brains. And tell me in the comments, what is the most harmless, everyday topic that you've seen completely ruined by someone turning it political? I'll see you in the next one. Mute the notifications, log off the apps, and really, just enjoy the potatoes.